Today we have Bernhard Schulzki. He's the managing director at Accenture, and he has 21 years of experience with SAP and is now responsible for the public and private cloud SAP at Accenture. So he's the guy in the German-speaking market for cloud at Accenture, and he's going to share his practical knowledge and his advice why we should move to the cloud and how to do it. So for the closing keynote, please help me welcome to the stage with a big round of applause, Bernhard Schulzki. Thank you.
Hi,
Thanks.
Alex. Thank you. Okay, hi. Hi, lovely CEBIT. Hi, lovely Hannover. Thanks for having me. So what I'm trying to do, really, like Alex said, is to tell you why is it time to move to the cloud and how we can help and how we can help you get your business case and your setup right. Okay, so there's 5 things that you should be learning today. So again, why are the clients moving? Why should you be moving to the cloud if you haven't considered it? How we can actually help you? What are the tangible benefits that you can see? And I will give you numbers, not just kind of the high-level talk. I'll talk to some of our clients, some of our projects, and then I'll give you some insight how to team up with us. Essentially, it may sound like a bit of a broken record, but there's not a single client, not a single conversation I'm having where the client is not telling me, hey, I'm under TCO pressure, I need to save some money, okay? And that is normal. If you're in that situation, don't feel bad, totally normal, and we'll come and help you take an insight as to how we can help you reduce your cost. Why is that important? All of you in the SAP space are trying to figure out how to get your roadmap ready for the next couple of years, how to get ready for your S4 path and so forth. And the benefit or the prerequisite to go there is to have the money and the foundation ready to actually go that path. You need to have the flexibility, the foundation. If you're stuck in your old stuff, it won't work. These 2 steps are then basically the foundation to go for the innovation part. Okay, we heard in the previous presentations quite a bit like how there's IoT stuff, how there's machine learning. You want to get your systems closer where this is happening and make it happening with your systems. So these 2 steps are majorly connected. Now, when we go in and analyze with you, okay, what can we do, how can we help? There's a couple of things that usually come up. Okay, so one thing is, yeah, I want the lower TCO, I want the better economics. But what we are also seeing is that, for example, topics like security have not been properly addressed. Okay, so while we discuss with you on how to move to the cloud, we always find that we also touch the security topics. Okay, how do I prevent intrusion? How do I prevent the hacking? How do I do simple stuff like the patching strategies and so forth? That also is usually much better after moving to the cloud, despite some initial thoughts like, oh, is the cloud safe? Yeah, it's actually more safe than your normal on-premise. What we're also hearing from clients, especially from the business department, is like, hey, it's very cumbersome to work with IT. Everything takes like forever. I need a new system. It takes me 3-4 months, whatever. So usually what we also find is that business can ask for systems and for services quicker and get them quicker, which is in a time-to-market-driven world really important. The agile implementation is on the lips of everybody, but how do you have the foundation to be agile? So I'm just coming from a workshop actually yesterday where a customer says like, yes, I want to do so. Is it really true that, I mean, in the cloud, you can give me a new system within a minute, 5 minutes? And we say yes, and this is totally science fiction to them because they're coming from an old-fashioned world of, yeah, things takes months. Also what we find, looking to the upper right part here, is that customers, when moving to the cloud, also begin to rethink like, what is my core business? What is my core competence? Should I really try to hire the few remaining talents out there that can help me with the HANA S4 SAP cloud stuff? Or is it better that I focus on my value-creating business processes and ask somebody who's better suited at doing the commodity parts to precisely do this? So moving to the cloud in many ways is a trigger to rethink what you're doing, and that is totally okay and totally nice. I talked about the infrastructure provisioning speed. I talked about how getting to an agile environment, to the cloud, you lay the foundation for new projects. And you see that in a moment. Now, I said I give you some real cost examples. And this is what we are finding kind of in an average, okay? So when we go in and do the TCO analysis, we often find very bad situations. So either situations in which a provider really is asking way too much of the money from their clients, or a situation where there is a very inefficient move of your own resources, usage of your own resources. That is actually, besides, not really a surprise. Because if you, I mean, we saw Google here, if you look to Google, if you look to Azure, Microsoft Azure, if you look to AWS, those guys are spending billions in optimizing their data centers. There's not a single customer out there who can at least try to cope with their investments and with the technology that they're driving. So it's better to use them than try to match. So what we're doing in going in is helping you is to look at your applications, to look at how can we move them, what is the right project duration, what's the dependencies, and we give you an estimate on how quickly that goes. So usually the duration is moving, say, up to 100, 200 systems, kind of like half a year or so. Just the team that I've been working with has moved 12 clients over the last year. So this is pretty efficient. And obviously, we also give you the respective cost, okay? Because, I mean, moving your systems to the cloud is the prerequisite to reap the benefits. The benefits I come to, but obviously it's the reduced cost, it's the higher quality, it's the higher flexibility. And again, this is the foundation for you to implement new services. So there's one client that we're having that's using kind of the cognitive, the visual services, that they are using to basically do a patient face recognition, to print the QR code and kind of move you around like the hospital. I mean, that is all possible and simple if you move to the cloud. If you try this with your little boxes that you still have in your data centers, if that's your world, that's just not possible. So this slide is one that we are very often using to start the conversation. Essentially, if you look at the left gray area, this is where you are today. So you have something that you live on. Usually it's kind of historically grown. Nobody's especially proud of it. Maybe if you're top shop, you have just done a strategy project, you've revamped it, but nobody is really at the optimum level. Then essentially the question that comes up is like, okay, where do you want to be? I mean, you have a SAP roadmap, a roadmap overall for your company where you need to be. And you need to support this somehow. So how do you get there? And then some customers are able to show like, yeah, we got an idea. Actually, not in 100% of the cases, I'm afraid I have to say. And then usually we get in the discussion like, okay, what do you want to do? You want to talk a small step. That is basically the letter A thing here, where we're just looking at the immediate cost reduction, which we call lift and shift. I mean, take what you have today and put it to the more flexible environment as a first step. Or what we can also do, if you want to save some time and so forth, we can kind of take two steps in one, which is we help you with the migration towards HANA and S4. There's a couple of more things to do. We have to look at your coding. We have to look at like how you can move, how you can optimize. We have automated tools to help you do this in a very reliable way and also in a quick way. Once you've landed into the B land here, like in the middle, the world of what we call it complementary services, which is all the machine learning AI stuff, and there is tons of them for the major cloud providers, Azure, AWS, Google and so forth, coming up on a daily basis that you can tap into once you've moved there, okay? Now, we do have the classical problem right now. I would say like maybe less than 2% of the clients are really have moved to that way. Everybody is kind of there, sitting, waiting, what is the other guy doing? But the adoption curve is an exponential one. And what that means for you is, if you don't start your project right now, you're not done in a year or in 2 years. And in 2 years, you will look pretty stupid, because then everybody else has moved and has the new flashy agile stuff, and you still think about it. And then it is very difficult to make up the time, if at all. A question that we get very, very much is like, okay, what is the perfect cloud? That question is as good as it is difficult to answer and as it's easy to answer. I'll come to that. If you have no opinion, if you know predisposition, like, hey, public, private, I don't care, we will just ask you the key parameters. Okay, what is really important to you? What is the size, flexibility, cost? Is there a certain geo-location stuff that you wish? And we give you a recommendation outright. Some customers do have a multi-cloud strategy that say like, hey, I don't want to be dependent just from one guy, I want to have two guys. That is usually a strategy that's very hard to manage. We can do this. I mean, we do have the tooling and everything. However, it's normally not recommended because it's as it said, it's a bit difficult to manage. There's a couple of limitations here, like, okay, what's the maximum size and so forth, that as of last week, last week, Sapphire, there's been new announcements, so virtual terabyte sizes for HANA, Microsoft beefed it up from 4 to 12 terabyte, AWS has been beefing it up and so forth. So this is a permanently changing thing. You do see that we have Google there with an asterisk. Google is basically making very quick advancements. I mean, we had Michael Korbacher here, and I mean, he's a cloud guy for sure, I can tell this, so you will see them on the map as well. But what's really important is what fits your company strategy, okay? We do see a lot of clients who will say like, AWS, I'm not so sure, they are kind of my competition on the other retail side, do I really want to go there? I mean, we help you finding the criteria, and then we do a fact-based selection of the criteria there. All of them are good partners. We do have HP here as well, because I mean, kind of a good percentage of customers saying like, public cloud, I do have compliance regulations, security rules, so forth. I really want to do public, I cannot right now. And then we can basically resort to this very flexible environment there as well, and we can also do the hybrid stuff. The key thing really that I think Accenture has as an advantage is there's one shoulder to tap and say like, hey, can you help me? So there's one point of contact for you, and you can choose on how far you want our help. Okay, we can take all the way from the cloud selection, cloud management, infrastructure, application management, everything. Okay, so you can really, as a customer, focus on like, hey, I want to tell you what I want to have done, how to do it. I do want to steer you, but I don't want to do every single step myself, because I figured out, I really rather figure out how to beat the competition, and doing my IT alone is not a value creation for my product. Okay, so, and we are very flexible to listen to you and say like, hey, you have an excellent, we find this a lot of times, you have an excellent basis team, for example. We let you handle the basis, no trouble at all. We are very friendly and easy to work with. Now, this is just giving you some detail as to, okay, where are we covering in the stack? So if you want to take a quick look, I'm not a big friend of reading everything up to you, but we do have kind of all the detail levels of the stack, that we are having parties, groups within Accenture that are specialists in doing this, and we have the orchestration to make them work together in that way. Okay, so that is, I think, pretty unique in the industry. Also, what's pretty cool is that obviously, because we do this on a global scale, we do have the automation and everything, and we do have the shared brain of more than 450,000 Accenture folks, and like close to 50,000 of them taking care of SAP. Now let me get to the benefits again, because when you embark on a cloud project, your CFO, your other C-level is going to ask you like, okay, help me understand what is my real benefit. And then you'll have, hopefully with our help, to give them the benefits. And the benefits, the language of benefits is dollars, euros, whatever you like, okay? So we will speak to like, okay, this is the amount of savings that you can do based on our analysis. I said like, okay, it's in the range 20 to 40%. I'll come to how this is breaking down in terms of which areas. You will have to speak about the capabilities that you're adding. Like, if you tell to your business, like, okay, now you don't have to wait with your project for a couple of months, we can right away go, that is a real benefit for them. And what you'll find is that, I mean, we do have clients that say like, oh, I've been used to, I have to wait for a system for 3 months. All my project planning is basically related to this. Lucky customer if he has the time to do this. In a normal situation, you're being pressured by time and everything, and it is not for a much longer time that you will be able, like, oh yeah, I have to wait. It's impossible to do it in a better way, because it is doable in a better way. I was speaking to security and compliance. I mean, a topic that nobody likes very much, but this is what's usually improved. Why is this? We do have the services that are built in the various clouds that are usually at a level 1 higher than the on-premise world. And we do have us sitting down with you saying, like, okay, how far you want a protection? We're dealing with clients in the financial services space where you can say, like, yeah, they have very high criteria in what we have to reach. This is all doable, and it's actually better doable in the cloud than on-premise. Oh, I forgot to talk about the optimized consumption, of course. Things become possible in the cloud that the guys that are not in the cloud have a hard time to embrace. So if we say, like, you want a project system, you want a training system for a week, no problem. I mean, deploy it, refresh it, copy it from somewhere, make it available, you don't need it, you shut it down. Your developers have a weekend off, fine. Save some money by shutting the systems down, because the cloud providers don't charge you when the system is down. All of this becomes doable, and all of this is also a change process within the customer world to see, like, oh, that is now possible. And what we are finding is that customers learn from each other, and the new normal is obviously what the top guys are now doing in the market, embracing these technologies. So essentially, there's 3 scenarios that we're usually seeing. Okay, so it's the classical lift and shift here on the left side. This is where it all started. We do have a large mining company that actually has saved 25% in the first 6 months. It's a complete as-a-service offering, always up to speed with the latest stuff. You can Google, there's a recent press release, although the case is more than 2 years old, from our friends at Microsoft that tout about the case and how great everything is going. German breweries, very important here in Germany, are enjoying the benefits, okay, and we can go through the list. Obviously, then what we have is the transformational part with the S4 customers. So we have actually 2 pharma customers who've been putting their journey to S4 on the cloud, because they've been finding out, I can try to maneuver the journey to the cloud here in my local confined data center with very small steps, or I can basically put it to the cloud and I can flexibly move and do as I need it in the projects. The S4 projects, as you know, are taking quite some time. They start with a plan, there are a couple of question marks, and there's a needed flexibility. So, I mean, those 2 customers have been enjoying this right from the start. Agile innovation, so like, I mean, putting BW on the Azure cloud, like Accenture themselves, we are using, I think, 95% of our services in the cloud. We've been putting our BW system to the cloud. We are super happy, it's faster, we saved like more than 9 million. So everything is a breeze. So what we are talking to our clients, we're doing it internally as well, because we know, we are convinced, we see it in every day, that it's important. And as we say, we drink our own champagne. There's a German version of it, but I like the champagne version better. Now, how do we achieve this? What's the secret sauce behind this? So obviously, there is a lot of capable people, and there's a good organization behind it, but there's also a tooling that makes this possible. So there's a suite of tools. It's the Accenture Cloud Platform. You can look it up. All the analysts love it, the customers love it, and so forth. But what we have done actually is to put a tooling around what needs to be done. I mean, the deployment of services, of instances in the cloud, the deployment of the policies and so forth. You can all of this do manually, no trouble. It is tedious work, it is error-prone work if it's manual. So it's much better if you have this based on a tool. It's faster, it's more efficient, it's cheaper at the end of the day. Cloud Runner, I spoke about it. The automated operations, hey, there's a test system that I just need to fire up 10% of the time. You can do it with Cloud Runner, no trouble. Cloud Admin basically takes care of many tedious tasks. I'll list them here, like, hey, there's the patching, the client copies, the system copies, and so forth. All of this is put in a tool. Okay, so this is kind of a bit of the secret sauce that we have in the background. Subsea 7 is a UK-based customer that last year was one of the first to go there with a migration, with the new HANA systems and so forth. So we talked to them, we put the migration in place. They wanted the flexibility, they wanted the lower TCO. We've been putting our partners within that scope. So there's ACCENTURE, which is a joint venture between Accenture, Microsoft, 40,000 people that have been helping that client. Everything has just been going smooth. It's kind of a sample reference on how to do things right. And this is, as I said, like with the team that I'm working with, I mean, we did 12 of those. I mean, they've been all working like a charm, okay? So customers have been really, really surprised how smooth that can go. Now, let me give you some numbers. I think we are pretty well advanced. I mean, we tend to say we're number one in the integration space of working with the hyperscalers, big cloud providers, and making SAP and non-SAP happen on them. A couple of numbers to support it is we have 60 HANA customers live in production, so single customers, not systems. 42 of them like in the cloud, and there's a kind of an even mix ratio, 22 AWS and 20 Azure, and actually, I mean, that numbers are obviously going further. 42 like in the private world, so this is what we're seeing. Some of them are actually living in both clouds. The key number here as well is there's 200 trained architects. We do have a blueprint, of course, on how to get you to the cloud, but every customer, every case is a bit different. So this is where we put in our architects and work out with your architects the best way to really do things. And you need to have these key personnel in place. And this is not the kind of guys that grow on trees. That is really people that we feed well and treat well so that we have them and can be successful. Obviously, tons of people in the cloud space and working with the key providers here again. I mean, Azure, AWS, Google, and HPE for the private cloud. Okay, so this is really the who is who that you're working with. So how do you get started with us? It's fairly easy. So if you have an idea, if I got your interest, okay, it's easy to reach me, Bernhard.Schulzki@accenture.com. And you can say like, hey Bernhard, you've been talking a lot now, we want to put you to the test, can you come by? We will be showing you our SAP landscape, you will give your assessment on what you think, how doable it is, what cloud to pick, what approach to pick, what will be the cost of it, okay, because we need to do a business case. And then we will basically swing by, I mean, sit down with you, find out. We will most probably also do kind of a design thinking workshop with you. We will pull in your business stakeholders, your IT, your purchasing, I mean all of the guys that have a say in what to do, and then find the best solution, okay? And you don't have to do a big start all the time. We also have kind of services in the space of like, hey, I want to do an S4 project, okay? But I really don't know if I should, and I don't know you guys. Can you just give us a couple of S4 systems, couple of other ones? We're also able to do this, okay? So we act very customized. I mean, we do have a knowledge of all of Accenture. We do have the sub-cloud COE, which pulls the knowledge of the complete world. We have the HANA COE with Alexander Zeyer leading it, and you know Alexander is the guy who co-invented HANA with Dr. Hasso-Plattner. So we do have all of this knowledge basically piled up, but then we are putting it into action with you in a very flexible mode because we look at what you guys are doing. And this is essentially what I wanted to say. So you should have learned, like, why is it time to move to the cloud? Hey, time to market, heard it a couple of times. If you wait, there is no journey that arrives somewhere if you don't do the first step, okay? And I mean, everything is more clear in 5 years. But what is very clear is, I mean, you should be getting out and start moving, okay? Large scale if you can, fine. Smaller scale at a minimum, okay? I think I explained how we can help you. I mean, we do have the experience, and I can tell you, being at Accenture, I mean, we have all nice and smart people. It's amazing of how many of those we have. So happy to work with you in that space. Have the experience to do the business cases with you. I mean, that is always tedious, okay? It's all a numbers game, flexibility game. So if you do that kind of the first time for something that we do on a daily basis, maybe a better idea to work with us. And I mean, speaking of the new services, okay, it seems a bit remote, and we're hearing like, yeah, more sensors in the world and everything. I mean, today we are still kind of handpicking the applications that really make a use of it. I promise to you, like in 2-3 years, I mean, there will be tons and tons of it, and we have integrated them all. You have found an idea on how to monetize them, and this is all possible based on a flexible cloud infrastructure. If you're not there, you miss all the fun, and if you're really doing bad, you miss all the business of it because some competitor was quicker. Okay, I'm sticking to time. Time is up, as per my clock, and I think it's time for questions, right?
Thank you so much, Bernhard. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot for introducing us to how you can move to the cloud with your help.
Come with me. Stay behind me. You're the second to the cloud, right after me.
And are there any questions in the audience? If there are no questions right here, I'm sure you will stick around a little bit, and you can always approach Bernhard later on, like in the next couple of minutes next to the stage. Am I right?
Cool.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Big round of applause, please. Thank you.